What's going on, people? So, there's a side of the box. Somebody out there might care to see that, at least from what I've heard. Also, one random thing to mention, I suppose, somebody also may be interested in this. I highly doubt it, though. It's some random fact about the channel stuff, right? So here's the thing. When I do my videos and stuff, I record them usually in the same order in which I bought things, especially like days like this where I'm doing multiples at a time. But when I upload them and release them, well, more so when I release them, that is pretty much always in order of how I bought them chronologically, unless it's something like those blue VaporMax 23s I got last year, right? That needed to go out early, or at least in a timely manner, because it just made sense, which was good because it got some views and helped to keep this channel mildly relevant while I mostly did nothing the rest of the year. But either way, so I bring that up because this video, this one right here, these Volt ones, is the one that I bought first, right? And I'm recording it first, will be uploaded first before this one. But it won't be super informative, right? That's going to be mostly in this one. Because honestly, when I'm taking pictures of brightly colored things, sometimes the pictures don't come out great. So it is what it is. But either way, you can take that for what it's worth. Maybe you watch both of these or whatever. I don't know. I just I'm bringing that up to you. But there's also timestamps in the bottom, so if you care to skip past all that, you can get straight to the review part, which is actually right now. This right here is the Nike Air Max DN in the Volt and black and I think Sequoia colorway. They kind of slipped that in at the end, you know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and fire through this. Down there across the bottom, what you're looking at, right, it looks similar to the other DN, I guess, but it kind of has some elements of the Ultra Boost in the front piece. That's what I think of anyways. Kind of reminds me of the Air Max 3 in the back area in some ways. So there's that. Overall, it's a weird look though. Personal opinion, of course. Moving on up here to the midsole. This is also a somewhat weird look, The front piece is pretty standard stuff, Then the back piece, you got these bubbles and it's just odd, because then as you look a little bit behind that, it kind of looks like a tank rolling around or something. I don't know what they were thinking with this, but whatever. And then when you're taking the whole overall look from the top down sort of view that I usually slip into this videos and stuff right about now, yeah, not a whole lot to really take from it, I don't think, right? Just knowing okay, yeah, there's a whole lot of Volt going on here and a whole lot of silver. So it's pretty straightforward, but again, sometimes these angles help people or whatever. There's nothing you haven't seen from any other video probably. So either way, there's that. And that being that, I'm going to move on past this, knock out some personal thoughts, and then do the sizing, right? Yeah. So, personally, right? I saw these second. I was already sold on the black color, and I was like, yeah, that's looking pretty good. But then they put up this, and I was like, okay, that is the one. That black one might still happen, but this one, if I can only get one, is the one. And I got it, I was looking forward to it. Then I opened it up a little earlier today, about an hour or so ago. And I was like, oh yeah, this looks pretty alright. Feels weird. Like I said before, I kind of don't like the way all these little lines on the upper feel. It's just a very rubbery, maybe like a basketball or something. I don't know. I haven't touched a basketball in probably a decade, so who knows. But either way, it feels weird, but it looks really cool overall. So because I'm into the color, and that's largely why. Is this going to be for everybody? Somebody was saying in the chat that it is not for them, and I totally get that, because this is a very odd look overall, right? I can't sit here and pretend that it's not. I'm not going to try to sell you on something that's amazing when it's not amazing. I've seen some good looks that I could recommend to anybody. This just isn't one of them, honestly, but I like the color, and I like to try out the new Air Maxes, so here we are, and so far, it's working out all right. And I assume they'll put out more colors, and maybe that'll pull in more people or whatever later, but we'll worry about the future in the future. For right now, I'm just going to worry about these and talking about them because it's what's in front of me. Also, one thing that I do kind of need to talk about is the sizing, because that's mildly important. So I guess we can go ahead and knock out that piece, right? Because I covered everything I wanted to cover, perhaps. I'm going to say that I did. Sizing wise, right? I bought these in a 9.5. You might be asking yourself, why'd you buy them in a 9.5, Tristan? Well, because my foot size is 9.5, and that's what makes sense to me and pretty much every other Air Max. And you know what? These fit as I expected them to, so yay for that, right? Is that going to work out for everybody? I honestly don't know, right? I'm guessing not, because everybody, I mean, that's a little much, right? A lot of people, I would accept that. But again, as I always say, watch a handful of reviews. Everybody's going to say something a little different if you watch enough of them or whatever. But this, for me, is working out fine. Now, walking around in them, right? They feel pretty all right. You know, I've only walked around in them in here just to make sure that the sizing is what I expected. But the comfort wise, you know, that is feeling pretty good too. I mean, it's kind of a weird thing in a way, something about it. I guess I was expecting it to be like really high in the back, kind of, because it looks like it's kind of high in the back, but it doesn't feel that way. It feels like very much level across the shoe, and that I am a huge fan of, because I had on those Air Max 1 big bubbles and some Air Max 2021s, and some things just feel a little high in the back. And I'm not Seth Rollins. I'm not trying to be out here in these like high heel style shoes or whatever. So no thank you to that. It's just not a thing that I care for, though it does level out. But getting back on track, these right here, walking around in these all day, I feel like you're going to be fine with it. The way the upper is designed as far as materials go, I feel like that's going to make for a pretty decent summer wear as well, depending on wherever you are. If you get like actual summer type weather or spring weather as it is right now, I think also for you guys it'll be feeling pretty good. So to me, all in all, I would suggest it if you find the color you like and if you are okay with the look. Otherwise, don't worry about it. There's plenty of comfortable shoes out there to wear for the summer. Like, so many of them. You don't need to pretend to like these just to fit in. I don't even know if the cool kids are wearing these. I'd imagine not, because they look kind of weird, but I don't know. I'm not cool, so I don't know what the cool kids are doing. But there we go. There's that. Enough rambling and whatnot out of me. A little too much, probably. From me to you, have a nice rest of your day or rest of your night, wherever you are. I'm on to this here black and purplish colored pair. Talk about those a little bit and a little more in depth. Later, people.